Alright, hello everyone, I'm the Cosmic Collector, and today I wanted to talk about some of the new sort of news that's happened about Marvel movies and about the MCU and stuff like that. There's three main stories I want to cover, I guess you can call them stories, and I'll get to them sort of as I come to them, but the first one I want to talk about is probably the one that everyone's talking about at the moment. Basically, 21st Century Fox are in talks with Disney for basically Disney to buy out most of the company of 21st Century Fox. Now, what this would mean for Marvel movies is that Marvel Studios would have the rights to the X-Men franchise and to the Fantastic Four franchise, and to all of the other stuff like New Mutants and I think Exiles and stuff like that, which is very exciting. Now, I should say these talks are sort of very on and off. They're sort of very off in the distance. They're not actually talking at the moment, but they might be. So it's just sort of, it's not completely, happening. But the talks definitely are happening. But just don't get too excited yet, because it might not happen, and if it does happen, it'll be quite a long time away. But what this means is very exciting because, well, obviously the Fantastic Four, they haven't really had a very good film adaptation. I quite liked the older one, like the first one with Chris Evans and stuff, but, it would obviously be very good to see the first family done right too, in the MCU. And there's been some debate actually about whether or not the X-Men franchise would work well within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like how you'd implement it and stuff like that. Personally, I think it would work really well. I don't know how they'd implement it, but I think they'd figure out a way, even if they do have to, invent some sort of time loop. But they probably have to, I guess, recast everyone from the original films series. But they do that enough anyway. But Hugh Jackman did say he'd be okay with staying as Wolverine if it was a Marvel Studios property, so maybe we could see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in a proper comic accurate costume fighting alongside the Avengers someday, and that really would be something else. But yeah, I'll link to the story down below in the description. Like I say, it's a very distant thing, but it's still something to get excited about if this, because obviously this is something fans have wanted for quite a while, and any kind of update on that is, super exciting. So yeah, that's that one basically in a nutshell. The next story I wanted to get to is J.K. Simmons. You may know him as famous for playing J. Jonah Jameson, in the Spider-Man original trilogy by Sam Raimi. He said that he would be more than happy to come back as J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU, or in any sort of Spider-Man reboot, if that was an opportunity that he had. Which, again, very exciting news, because everyone loved J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi trilogy. He was perfect. He was perfectly cast, and it would be difficult to cast anyone else, I think, unless you went in a completely different direction. I heard some people say Terry Crews could work. Yeah, maybe. But I personally, I just like J.K. Simmons back. I know it would be kind of weird that he'd be in two different separate Spider-Man universes, but it doesn't really matter, because I don't think you get a casting more perfect than him. Obviously, he's playing Commissioner Gordon right now in Justice League and in just sort of the DC expanded universe as a whole, but I don't really think that matters much. I know that some actors are sort of crossing over, Cable or something like that. And oh yeah, Lawrence Fishburne. He's going to be in Lawrence Fishburne's going to be in something MCU, and he's in the DC extended universe as well. So yeah, I don't think that really matters crossing over. I don't think there's a big contractual problem with that. I think maybe like actors like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, like the main Avengers, I think they might have a bit more of a problem, but for like sort of side characters, I don't think it really matters. See, that's very exciting news. So I think if we did get J. Jonah Jameson back in the MCU, in like the next Spider-Man story or whatever, I think that's probably the direction they'd go in. I hope it is anyway, especially since he's extended his hand out and said, look, I do want to do this. So after that, and then finally, quite recent news here is Chris Hemsworth has said he'd be up for a Thor/Spider-Man team-up movie. So that's cool. Basically, he said that he likes to have someone, if you saw Thor Ragnarok, he likes to have someone to sort of take the weight off, take the burden off of just doing a solo film. Just so it's someone to play off of, helps him out a lot, so that's cool. I'm not sure how a Thor Spider-Man movie would work, considering that they're on two sort of very different levels. Thor's this cosmic god being, and then Spider-Man's this very grounded character. So it could be a very interesting dynamic between those two if they did have a film together. But if Chris Hemsworth thinks it would work, then who am I to say anything? I think they could make it work. They can make anything work. So I totally trust them. So yeah, that's your three main stories basically. You got the X-Men, possible MCU X-Men and Fantastic Four, quite exciting, and then Jonah Jameson in the MCU, could be played by J.K. Simmons, also interesting, and possible Spider-Man Thor team-up movie, very interesting. So yeah, it's all interesting today. I do hope that most of this stuff does come to fruition, because like all three of these stories are like, this thing could happen maybe, this thing could also not happen maybe, so I hope it does happen. What do you guys think about all this exciting Marvel news? Let me know in the comments below. That's really cheesy. I'll link all the stories and stuff that I learned all this from in the description, so you can go have a read of it yourself, maybe form your own opinions on it, and don't just take my rambling word for it. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video. I might make more like this, maybe. Hopefully I will, if there's more interesting news. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.